The diplomatic chamber aboard the Zithraxian flagship was a masterpiece of alien architecture. Crystalline walls pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, casting dancing shadows across Ellis's face as he stood before the most powerful being. In 3-star systems, Queen Vashara of the Zithrax Empire towered over him, nearly 8 feet of elegant, chitinous grace. Her exoskeleton shimmered like polished obsidian, traced with veins of iridescent purple that caught the light. Her arms crossed regally before her, each ending in delicate, blade-like fingers. Her face, if it could be called that, held compound eyes that refracted light into 1,000 tiny rainbows, and mandibles that clicked softly with each breath. Ellis had been warned. The Zithrax were conquerors, their empire built on the crushed remains of 17 civilizations. They had given humanity one cycle, roughly 6 Earth months, to prove they deserved to exist as anything more than slave labor. So, Vashara's voice resonated through translation implants directly into his brain. Earth sends a single human to plead for your species. How disappointing. Ellis swallowed hard. Behind him, through the viewport, he could see Earth, a blue marble hanging in the void, unaware that its fate rested in this moment. His colleague Ayla, still aboard their shuttle, had begged to come with him. But the Zithrax had been clear. One human, one chance. He'd prepared a speech, memorized statistics about human resilience, cultural achievements, technological potential. Ambassador Chen had drilled him for weeks on proper Zithrax protocol. The 17 layers of formal greeting, the precise angle of supplication required. But as Vashara leaned closer, her mandibles spreading in what his briefing materials had called a gesture of disdain, all of Ellis's carefully prepared words evaporated, because the light hit her exoskeleton just so, and the bioluminescent patterns on the walls seemed to dance in harmony with the purple tracings on her chitin, and those compound eyes caught the distant light of Earth in a way that made them sparkle like 1,000 tiny galaxies. And Ellis stammered, "You're so attractive I can't even speak." The words hung in the air. The translation implant chirped, confirming it had processed correctly. Silence descended like a guillotine blade. Vashara froze, every one of those 1,000 eye facets fixed on him with an intensity that made his survival instinct scream. Her mandibles stopped mid-click. The 2 Zithrax guards flanking the chamber tensed, their plasma rifles humming to life. And then impossibly the purple veins in Vashara's exoskeleton began to glow. Brighter, brighter still. The light spread from her core outward, pulsing in waves that matched what Ellis suddenly realized was a heartbeat. The Zithrax queen was blushing. "You." Vashara's mental voice wavered, losing its imperious edge. "What did you just?" "No species has ever." Ellis's mind raced. His training kicked in, not the diplomatic training, but his actual expertise, xenobiology. He'd spent 5 years studying Zithrax physiology, learning everything humanity's long-range scanners could discern. That glowing pattern wasn't in any of the official reports, but he'd seen similar phenomena in terrestrial insects during mating displays. Oh no, I meant no offense. "Your Majesty," Ellis said quickly, though a small, insane part of his brain noted that Vashara hadn't ordered him vaporized yet. "Among my people, honesty is the highest form of respect. And I couldn't lie. Not to you." Vashara, as for arms unfolded, a gesture the briefing materials had described as extreme agitation or confusion. In 17 conquests, across 400 encounters, not one species has looked upon the Zithrax form with anything but fear or disgust. Her glow pulsed brighter. "Your people's transmissions, we intercepted them. Your entertainment media. Insects are," how did they phrase it? "Creepy, horrifying, disgusting. Some humans think that," Ellis admitted. His heart hammered, but he stepped forward rather than back. Somewhere, Ayla was probably screaming at her console, watching this unfold. "But I'm not some humans. I'm a xenobiologist. I've studied your species for years. The efficiency of your exoskeleton structure, the elegance of your compound visual processing, the way your civilization engineered bioluminescent communication into art." He gestured at the pulsing walls. "You're not disgusting. You're magnificent." The glow intensified. If Vashara got any brighter, Ellis worried she might illuminate the entire ship. "This is..." The Queen's mental voice carried an emotion the translator struggled to render. Unprecedented. One of the guards clicked something in Ra Zithrak's no translation provided Dan Vashara's. Mandibles snapped in its direction with clear authority. The guard stepped back. "You study us?" Vashara asked, refocusing on Ellis. "Not to find weaknesses?" "To understand," Ellis said. "Because understanding is what humans do. We're not the strongest species, or the fastest, or the smartest. But we're curious. Relentlessly, stupidly curious. We want to know why stars burn, and how you built ships that fold space, and what makes a civilization choose conquest over cooperation, and..." He met those kaleidoscopic eyes, and what it's like to see through compound eyes, what the universe looks like when you process light through 1,000 tiny lenses. Vashara's breathing, a soft whistling through spiracles Ellis could now hear quicken. The universe appears, faceted. Each lens captures slightly different angles. Combined, we see patterns, movements, wavelengths your binary eyes cannot perceive. She paused. "No one has ever asked." "Then they were fools," Ellis said, and meant it. The bioluminescence in Vashara's exoskeleton shifted, patterns swirling in ways that seemed almost bashful. "Your species sent you knowing we intended to enslave you. You must have expected death." "I did," Ellis admitted, "but I also expected wonder. Because even facing extinction, humans can't help but be amazed by the universe. By you." Vashara was silent for a long moment. When she spoke again, her mental voice was soft, contemplative. 17 species we have conquered. 17 civilizations erased because they saw only threat and difference. Responded only with violence or terror. Her forearms spread wide. A gesture Ellis's instincts read as openness, perhaps. Perhaps it is time the Zithraks met a species that sees beauty instead. Ellis's communication implant crackled. Ayla's voice, tight with barely controlled panic. "Ellis, what the hell is happening?" "The Zithraks fleet is standing down." Vashara's mandibles curved in what might have been a smile. "Tell your colleague that humanity has earned a reprieve. We will reconsider our approach." Those compound eyes fixed on him with unreadable intensity. "And you, Ellis of Earth, will return. There is much I wish to discuss about understanding." As Ellis stumbled back to the shuttle an hour later, Ayla grabbed his shoulders. "What did you do?" Ellis looked back at the flagship, where Queen Vashara stood at an observation port, her exoskeleton still glowing faintly purple. "I told the truth," he said, dazed. "And apparently, that's the most human thing possible. Humanity had survived not through weapons or walls, but through wonder. And somewhere in the cosmos, an alien queen learned that being called beautiful could change everything.